Hey everyone, I'm Emily with Team Grey Duck, and today we're talking about paddles. I'm going to show you how to correctly adjust the height of your paddle and how to properly hold it. So most paddles you find are going to be adjustable paddles. That means that you can push this notch in here and adjust the height of the paddle up and down. This can be really great for multiple paddlers. If you're going to be sharing your paddle with a couple other people, you may want to have an adjustable paddle so it can size up or down depending on the size. One thing to note is that it may not fit everybody. So if the person paddling is significantly taller or shorter than you, you may need two different paddles to accommodate their size. So just keep that in mind when buying a paddle. There are also fixed height paddles, which can be a great option if you know exactly what height you want your paddle to be. They can be a little bit more lightweight because they don't have the adjustable component to them, but you may not be able to share with other paddlers. So I would say for the average paddler, I'd recommend the adjustable option. Once you have your paddle, it's time to adjust it to your height. So I'm going to start by pushing this notch in so I can easily slide the paddle handle up and down. I'm going to hold it upright next to me. I'm going to extend my arm fully and give it a little bit of a bend. I don't want to have my arm at a complete 90-degree angle, and I don't want to be overextended either. I'm probably going to be about 6 to 12 inches above my head. And when I find a comfortable spot, what I'm going to do is wiggle that notch back into place. So you may be in between two of the notches on your paddle, and there may also be situations where you want a shorter paddle than normal. So if it's really windy or there's rough conditions, you might be crouched down a little bit more and want a little bit shorter paddle length. Feel free to play around with that depending on your conditions and just see what feels right for you. Now that you have your paddle sized to you, let's talk about how to properly hold a paddle. So grab onto your paddle, hold it out in front, put it up overhead, and bend your arms 90 degrees. This is going to be about the distance you're going to want to hold your paddle here. So I'm going to hold it back out in front. We've got straight arms. My right hand is going to be on top when I'm paddling on the left side, and my left hand's going to be on top when I paddle on the right. You want to keep your arms very straight while you're paddling. You also want to keep the paddle close to you and upright as possible. If you start wandering out, this is going to be a much more difficult stroke. If you have your arms bent or too short of a grip, you're also going to be working really hard. You're not going to get a full stroke, and you're going to put a lot more effort into that paddle stroke versus if you have it out and upright. Last, you're going to want the blade sloping away from you. This is probably the most common mistake that we see. It's pretty counterintuitive because you think you want the paddle to be scooping the water, but this actually causes more drag and will be a lot more difficult for you to paddle. So a good way to check is to just hold the paddle right in front of you, take a look at the blade, and it should be sloping away from you. So keep an eye on the direction of the blade as you are paddling. As you switch grips, you may be accidentally flipping the paddle over, so just keep an eye on that when you get in the water. It may feel like a lot to keep track of, but after a few times in the water, it's going to become a lot easier and more like second nature. Developing those good habits in proper form early on will help make your experience much more enjoyable. Go ahead and grab your paddle, try adjusting it to your height, and get out on the water and start practicing. This has been Paddling Tips with Grey Duck. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you on the water.